Welcome, curious souls, to a journey through the unexplained. Tonight, we delve into a realm where shadows dance and whispers echo with the weight of eternity, the realm of ghosts. In every culture, in every corner of the world, one thing has remained constant: the existence of ghosts. From ancient legends to modern-day encounters, these entities have haunted our imaginations and sent shivers down our spines for centuries. Are they real? Are they simply figments of our imagination? Or do they dwell among us, hiding in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to reveal themselves? Join me as we explore 10 spooky ghost facts that will send chills down your spine. Brace yourselves. We're entering the domain of the dead. Ghosts have been around for centuries. The concept of spirits and the afterlife is as old as human history itself. From the dawn of civilization, mankind has grappled with the mysteries of death and what lies beyond. Ancient Egyptians believed the dead had to be guided through the afterlife. They developed elaborate rituals and massive tombs for safe passage. Greeks and Romans saw ghosts as restless spirits of the dead. They told tales of vengeful specters and ghostly guardians. These cultures feared the wrath of the dead. From Egypt to Rome, ghosts are part of our lore. But their nature remains a mystery we're here to unravel. These ancient beliefs weren't confined to any one region. Across the globe, cultures developed unique interpretations of ghosts and the afterlife. In Japan, vengeful spirits known as onryo haunt those who wronged them. Native American cultures believe in spirits interacting with the living. Shamans act as intermediaries, communicating with the dead. These beliefs highlight a universal fascination with the afterlife. They remind us that the dead may not be gone. Of all the ghostly phenomena, few are as terrifying and unpredictable as poltergeists. Derived from German, poltergeists are disruptive entities. They interact with the physical world in unsettling ways. Objects move, lights flicker, and noises fill the air. Theories link poltergeists to human emotions. Many researchers believe poltergeist activity is linked to heightened emotional states, particularly in adolescence. Puberty, a time of intense hormonal fluctuations, seems to trigger these disturbances. Could our emotions be unlocking something sinister? Is it possible that stress, anger, or fear taps into psychic energy? The thought is unsettling. Some theories propose poltergeists are extensions of our subconscious minds. Could these disturbances be our inner turmoil given form? The poltergeist phenomenon reminds us the line between the physical and the supernatural is thin. We've all heard the stories, right? A familiar perfume, a whiff of cigar smoke, even the distinct aroma of a loved one's favorite meal. These scents, they can be more than just memories. Sometimes they're signs, messages from the other side. It's like the spirits are trying to reach out, to bridge that gap between life and death. It takes you back, doesn't it? To a specific moment, a specific person. But these smells, they're not always comforting. Sometimes they're rancid, putrid, like something died because something did. These are the smells of tragedy, of pain, of death clinging to a place long after the event has passed. And that's what makes these ghostly smells so damn unsettling. They're a stark reminder that we're not alone. Some skeptics call these smells olfactory hallucinations, tricks of the mind. But sometimes you can't deny what your senses tell you. When the air fills with your grandma's lavender perfume, you start to question everything. Could these smells be a form of psychometry, spirits sending messages through scents? We may never know for sure, but next time don't dismiss it. It might be a visit from the other side. We're talking about shadow figures, those dark, fleeting shapes you see out of the corner of your eye. You turn to look, but they're gone. Vanished. Like they were never there. But you know what you saw. You felt it. That cold dread, the feeling of being watched. That's the essence of a shadow figure encounter. So what are these shadow figures? Are they lost souls, trapped between realms, unable to fully cross over? Or are they something else entirely, something more sinister? Some paranormal investigators believe that shadow figures could be interdimensional beings, entities from another plane of existence bleeding into our own. And if that's the case, what does that mean for us? Are they simply observing? Or do they have a more malevolent purpose? Could they be harbingers of doom, signs of something terrible to come? Look, the unknown is a terrifying place. And when it comes to shadow figures, the answers are as elusive as the figures themselves. But one thing's for sure, encountering a shadow figure is an experience you won't soon forget. You're walking into a room, and suddenly the temperature plummets. This, my friends, is a cold spot. It's one of the most common signs of paranormal activity. Spirits draw energy to manifest, creating these chills. When you feel that sudden chill, it's not just your imagination. Now I know what you're thinking. Zach, it's just a cold spot. Could be a draft, could be bad insulation. And yeah, sometimes there's a perfectly rational explanation. But other times there's just no explaining it. The temperature change is too drastic, too localized, too damn cold to be anything but paranormal. We're talking about areas where thermometers malfunction, where batteries drain in an instant, where electronic devices go haywire. That's not just a coincidence, folks. That's energy being manipulated, twisted, and consumed by something we can't see. So the next time you step into a room and feel that sudden chill, that unexplained drop in temperature, pay attention. You might just be standing in the presence of something not of this world. And trust me, you don't want to stick around to find out what it is. We've all heard the stories of people seeing the same thing happening over and over again. Like a scratched record, these residual hauntings are intriguing and unsettling. Imagine witnessing a ghostly figure reenacting a moment from the past. These spirits are trapped in a loop, repeating the same actions. They aren't aware of us or trying to communicate. It's like watching a ghostly recording, a moment frozen in time. These hauntings often occur in places of trauma. The energy of the event is imprinted on the location, playing on a loop. Some researchers believe that residual hauntings are like psychic imprints left behind by powerful emotions. Imagine a place where a terrible accident occurred, the terror and anguish seeping into the walls, the floorboards, the very air itself. Could these residual energies be the cause of these haunting replays? Or are we witnessing something far more profound, something that challenges our understanding of life and death? Are these spirits trapped, unable to move on because of unfinished business? Are they bound to this earthly plane by a force we can't comprehend? Or are we witnessing a glimpse into a hidden world, a world where the past bleeds into the present, where time itself seems to bend and distort? These are the questions that keep us coming back, the mysteries that fuel our desire to understand the unknown. There are few sounds more unsettling than the sound of a child crying, especially when you're alone in the dark. But what happens when that sound isn't coming from a living child, but from something else? The crying child is a common theme in paranormal investigations, and for good reason. It's a sound that taps into our deepest fears, our primal instincts to protect the innocent. Imagine being in a supposedly empty house, the silence broken only by the creaking of floorboards, and then you hear it. A faint sob, a mournful wail that seems to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. Your heart pounds in your chest, your breath catches in your throat. Is it your imagination? or is something truly there? The hair on the back of your neck stands on end. You know, deep down, that something isn't right. Often reports of the crying child are linked to locations where children have died tragically, their spirits unable to find peace. Is it the spirit of a child, lost and alone, seeking comfort in a realm beyond our understanding? Or is it something more sinister, something feeding off the fear and sadness associated with these tragic events? These are the questions that keep us up at night, the mysteries we're driven to unravel. Join us as we delve deeper into the phenomenon of the crying child, exploring the history and hauntings that have left an unforgettable mark on this world and the next. In the dark corners of our world, whispers circulate of vengeful spirits, consumed by rage and driven by an insatiable thirst for revenge. These are the grudge ghosts, the restless souls who return from beyond the veil, not for peace, but to settle a score. They are a chilling reminder that death doesn't always bring closure, that some wounds run so deep, they transcend the boundaries of life and death. Imagine for a moment the raw, untamed fury of a spirit wronged in life, denied justice and consumed by an insatiable need for retribution. This is the essence of the grudge ghost, a terrifying manifestation of anger and despair. Their motives are clear, their intentions chillingly focused, to inflict suffering upon those they believe responsible for their torment. Grudge ghosts are often associated with places where violent or unjust acts occurred, places where the veil between our world and the next is thin, allowing these vengeful spirits to cross over. But what fuels their rage? Is it a thirst for revenge? A need to right the wrongs they suffered in life? Or are they trapped in a cycle of pain and anger, unable to escape the torment that binds them to this world? These haunted souls, driven by a rage that transcends death itself, remind us that the afterlife is not always a peaceful realm. Join us, if you dare, as we explore the chilling world of grudge ghosts, where vengeance knows no bounds and the echoes of past transgressions resonate with terrifying power. Mirrors, man. They're more than just a way to check your reflection. They've always been seen as a kind of portal. Ancient cultures believed they could reflect the soul. Some even feared looking too long. I've heard countless stories of unexplained reflections, fleeting glimpses, shadows moving, or faces morphing grotesquely. It's enough to question your sanity. Are these tricks of the light or something more? Could mirrors be a conduit for spirits? I've seen things I can't explain. And let me tell you, they've shaken me to my core. You ever get that feeling you're being watched? Like someone standing just out of sight? Now, imagine catching a glimpse of something in the mirror, but when you turn around, there's nothing there. It's a bone-chilling experience. Some believe that mirrors can hold on to energy, especially in places where there's been a lot of emotional turmoil or tragedy. That energy can linger, and some say it manifests as these ghostly apparitions. I've investigated homes where people have seen figures in mirrors vanish before their eyes, only to reappear moments later. It's like the mirror is holding on to something, trapping it in its reflection. Are these spirits trying to communicate with us, or are they just trapped, unable to escape the mirror's grasp? There are places in this world, man, that just ooze negative energy. Places where the veil between our world and the other side is thin, almost paper thin. We're talking about places like the Tower of London, where countless executions have stained the ground with blood and anguish, or Eastern State Penitentiary, where the tortured souls of prisoners still roam the cell blocks. These places have witnessed unimaginable suffering, You can feel it the moment you step foot on these grounds. The air gets heavy, a cold shiver crawls down your spine, and you just know something's not right. It's in these places that the energy of the past seems to bleed into the present. The spirits of those who suffered and died within these walls, they never left. They're trapped, bound to the location of their demise. Take the Winchester Mystery House, for example. Sarah Winchester, driven by grief and fear, spent decades building and rebuilding her home, trying to appease the spirits she believed were haunting her. The result is a labyrinth of hallways, staircases that lead to nowhere, and doors that open to brick walls. It's like she was trying to confuse the spirits, trap them within the walls of her own personal prison. But did it work? Or did she only amplify the paranormal activity, turning her home into a beacon for lost souls? These haunted hotspots, they're not just tourist attractions. They're reminders of the dark side of human history, of the pain and suffering that can linger long after death. And if you're not careful, if you don't treat these places with respect, you might just become another chapter in their terrifying story. So, are ghosts real? Do they truly walk among us? Or are they just figments of our imagination, fueled by fear and darkness? I've spent years searching for answers, investigating the most haunted places on Earth, confronting the unknown head-on. And let me tell you, the things I've seen, the things I've heard, they've convinced me that there's something more out there. Something we can't explain, something that defies logic and reason. Stay vigilant out there, because you never know what might be lurking just beyond the veil, watching you from the shadows. But hey, don't let that scare you off. If you're as drawn to the mysteries of the paranormal as I am, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because we've got a lot more ground to cover. Thanks for watching, and remember, stay spooky.